Happy Veterans Day, everyone. I think we all have someone in our family tree that has served in the armed forces protecting our freedom, and I think that is just wonderful. And for those of you that don't know me, I am Coach Janine, the owner of Dreamcatcher Business and Life Coaching. I work with military veterans. Point blank, that's what I do. I work with military veterans. Whether you are on active duty, and you're just trying to have a more successful, enjoyable career, then give me a call. If you're transitioning from the military and maybe you need to work on that killer eye-catching resume, or you need some help learning how to use social media for job hunting, I can help you with that. And if you're a veteran business owner, guess what? I'm a veteran business owner too, and I can help you grow your business. I retired from the Marine Corps in 2002. And since then, I've completed my master's degree in psychology, and I'm almost done with my PhD in psychology. I've worked as a psychotherapist, and in 2006, I started my business, Dreamcatcher, and became a business owner. And this morning, I still like to run, not as fast and out there as I used to be, but I decided to take my run a little bit further, so I kind of had to look up to the sky and say, help, and I had to dig deeper. And I always have my greatest inspirations when I'm out running, so I wanted to just share with you my thoughts this morning. I was thinking about all the gifts that the manufacturer of me gave me. And one of those gifts that he gave me is he manufactured me to be able to run long distance. I'm not good at short distances, but anything over about 4 miles and I can just run forever. And over the years, when I think about it, it has really served me well. Because I haven't had a great, glamorous, perfect life. In 1985, I was, been in the Marine Corps barely 3 years. I had to bury a child, my son Bradford. In 1989, while stationed in Okinawa, I had to go into hiding at a battered women's shelter with my 3 young children. So, I haven't had this dreamy, perfect life. There's been times I had to use my credit cards to buy food for my kids. I've had to make miracles happen with my paycheck. I didn't get child support because I had too much pride and I was overseas at the time, couldn't afford to come back to the States and get a lawyer. And so a lot of times, I pay all the bills because, of course, I had that pride built in me from being a Marine, even though he was a Marine too. So I took all the debt, took the children, no child support. And sometimes I'd be lucky if I had $20 left over to buy food for 2 weeks for a family of 4. But I did it. I survived. It wasn't on luck. I survived because I was built. I was manufactured to withstand these storms. The manufacturer of me built me to stand strong and proud. He built me not to play the victim. And he really built me to go the distance, just like my run this morning. As a Marine, a mom, a spouse, business owner, I have shown him repeatedly just how great he manufactured me. I've had to thank him many times, and I've used the gifts he gave me to excel. I haven't shrunk down and become that little shrinking violet. I like to say I'm the victor, not the victim. There are many times I could have been the victim. I could have played that victim role. But I didn't. I triumphed over that because he made me, he created me, he manufactured me to be strong, to be resilient, and to go the distance. Now, there's been times when my environment has not supported my decisions to use these gifts and talents. I was raised that I was not smart enough to go to college. I needed to just marry well. Well, I'm finishing up a PhD. I guess I got some little bit of a brain in there in me, so I'm using that talent. My parents, my siblings, they have not always understood my path, my direction. Unfortunately, they chose not to be in my life. I've had great friends who've dropped out. But when it comes down to it, when you look at your environment, you have to honor you. And I really do think the manufacturer of you wants you to use the gifts he gave you. I kind of think of it like, somebody goes out and buys a really hot shot Ferrari. And I think of Ferrari because I was just at the Wynn Hotel where they had a Ferrari dealer in the hotel. You know, if I bought a Ferrari and brought it to Jacksonville, North Carolina, home of Camp Lejeune, and I didn't, you know, I drove 25 through the neighborhood and I drove 55 on the highway, I wouldn't be using that piece of equipment the way it was designed. I'd be holding it back. And another thing this morning I was thinking about, you know, we are given these gifts and we should be using them. My grandfather passed away when I was in middle school. And I remember one day my grandma went into the bedroom and she comes out with all this stuff. And it was gifts that everybody had given over the years for Father's Day, birthdays. They were still in the wrapping paper. They still had the card attached to who gave what gift. We're talking cologne, bathrobes, slippers, you know, whatever my grandfather, he was a comic book. He loved Western comic books. So, I mean, it was all of these things, this stuff, these gifts. They never used them. They just sat in a drawer waiting for the day he would pass away and she would give them back. And I don't want you, yes you, to be that unused present, to be that sports car sitting in the driveway or in the garage unused. Get out there and enjoy the gifts you were given. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to use them. Don't be afraid it's boastful or bragging to use the gifts, because it's not. It's wasteful if you're not using those gifts. Use every bit of talent and energy that the manufacturer of you gave you. That's why he gave it to you. That's your purpose. That's your mission. And I know it's easier said than done, because sometimes our environment just doesn't get it. They don't support us. And it's not that they don't support us because they don't like us. It's because they don't want us to be hurt. They don't want us to see us fail. They want us to be safe. And safe is comfortable. It's like putting on that favorite pair of blue jeans or that favorite pair of boots. It's comfy. It feels good. But safe is also coasting along and doing what you always do. So it's hanging out with the people who are just like you. They're where you're at. If you want to go up here, which I hope you all do, then you need to be hanging out with people who are up here and making things happen, because they're going to take you with them. They're going to grab you by the hand and say, let me help you. Let me show you. So I just really want you to get out of that safe comfort zone. And if you want to grow personally and professionally, give me a call. Let me help you. You're going to see popping up on the screen, either down or out. I haven't set it up yet, but you're going to see it. A free mini e-course. It's called Circle of Influence. Now I want you to go ahead. There you go. You can see it. Circle of Influence. Go ahead and download that. It's a free gift to you from me. I want you to be able to identify the 10 most influential people in your life and the role that they play. And then from there, the course will walk you through what you're going to need to do to be the best you, to be the best that you were manufactured to be. Because I honestly do not think any of us would be where we are if we didn't try our best. You know, it's Veterans Day. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, 20 years United States Marine. I couldn't have made it in the Marine Corps, especially as a female or a single mom, if I didn't use the gifts and the talents that I was manufactured to use. And I really think for me, one of my gifts and talents is that I'm strong-willed, I'm resilient, and I can go the distance. There's several business owners that started their business when I did in 2006, and they closed their doors. I've luckily had some really great people in my environment who supported my entrepreneur dream, and they've helped me, they've pushed me, they've pulled me, they kicked my butt when I needed kicked, they've grabbed me by the ponytail and drugged me. And that's what I'm here to do as your coach. I work with the young Marines, young military men and women, enlisted and officer, who want a successful career. Sometimes, you graduate boot camp and you're thrown in and you're like, okay, now what? I'm at my duty station. How do I blend in? How do I step it up from being the high schooler or the college kid to the grown-up the young professional. I can help you do that because I've had to do it, and I had a very successful career. I worked for the Secretary of the Navy for 6 years on his personal staff. I wouldn't have been there if I wasn't good at what I could do. If you're getting ready to transition, I would love to help you have a very successful transition. When I retired, I made sure, I've only worked, I'll honestly say this, I've only worked for someone else 1 full year since I retired. The rest I've lived life on my terms because I made sure I was set up. And the only reason I worked that 1 year was because it was as a therapist. I wanted to be there for that year. But I really found that coaching is my passion. I can do it. My clients aren't just here in Camp Lejeune. They're all over the world. Beauty of the internet. So again, download your free e-course. Give me a call. My website is CoachJanine.com, but you probably already know that. And let me help you be the best that you were manufactured to be. Again, it's Veterans Day. I'm so grateful doesn't even come close to expressing thank you. And there's been times, and yes, I do get emotional, when I've been on a 25-mile hike. Or even again this morning, I think it was 6 or 7 miles. I don't know. I haven't driven it yet. But when I'm wanting to quit, when I'm wanting to complain about being cold or being achy or my feet hurt, I don't know why, but I always think back. Sorry. I always think back to those men who marched during the Frozen Chosen. I'd have been a big wimp. I don't know how they did it. They didn't have the proper equipment. They were cold. They were hungry. They didn't have what we have now. So I do feel very blessed. And it is because of people like that we are here. They have blazed the trails. The women in the 60s blazed the trails so that I could be a Marine. And I know the uncomfortable things I had to endure have blazed the trails for the women that are on active duty right now. And so again, just saying thank you is not enough. It's a privilege to coach military veterans. It really is a privilege because the ones on active duty now are the ones really keeping us safe so that we can sleep at night. They're the ones keeping me safe so I can be an entrepreneur. The veteran business owners, I love coaching with them because they're giving back just as much as I am. They love giving back. It's not about the money. It's about taking care of other veterans. No one should be homeless. No one should be having to use food stamps. No one should be having to use credit cards to buy their groceries. And it's not just due to lack of education on how to manage money. It's just sometimes things happen. And I want to read a real quick quote. And then I know this video is getting long and you're probably like, oh God, what did I get myself into clicking on this? But this is one of my ultimate favorite quotes. I just had the privilege of meeting Hoda. Here's her book. I didn't know who she was. I was just at the right place at the right time a couple of weeks ago when I was in Chicago. And in her book, you can see all the little pink flags I've got here. But this is really so true. And if you take nothing from this video, I don't care if you don't download the e-course, I want you to remember this. If you fall, and trust me, you will, make sure you fall on your back. Because if you fall on your back, you can see up. And if you can see up, you can get up. And you can keep going and going and going. And that to me is just very powerful because we do all fall at times. But make sure you fall on your back. And if you need some help getting up, give me a call. I'm Janine Howard, the owner of Dreamcatcher. Let me help you turn your dreams into reality. Have a great Veterans Day. Have a great year. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.